Welcome to Kayaköy in Turkey. Join me as we explore the ruins of the ghost town that's situated all around me.
I don't know what you've been told, but this here is not your home. You want some trouble, you want some.
So in Kayakoy, there is around 350 homes that mostly remain roofless and weathered. Along with these 350 homes, there is two Greek Orthodox chapels or churches, as well as other scattered chapels around the town as well. There is also water stations and cisterns that provided water to the town, and there is also a school up on the hill behind me. Harsh winters and strong winds have weathered the town to make it look older than it actually is. The fallout of World War I and the collapse of the Ottoman Empire led to land grabs at the start of the Turkish War. The resounding loss of the Greeks in this war ended with violence and retribution, which was often aimed at the remaining Greek Orthodox Communist Party. Hundreds of thousands of people fled the violence in Turkey, which led the governments to agree a mutual, compulsory population exchange programme which started in 1923 in order to cease the bloodshed. So the residents of Kayaköy, who had thus far lived peacefully with their Turkish neighbours, decided to pack their bags, leave the town and head across the water to Greece, leaving Kayaköy abandoned forever. Okay, so it goes without saying that the church in the centre of the town is the best shot there is to be had, mainly because of the details that are left, the colours, the shapes. There's a lot of reasons why this is the most popular spot. Technically, this is actually closed to the public. All the gates are locked to the church, but there is a hole in the wall. If you work your way through, you can actually go through the hole in the wall that's been created. I don't know how long that's going to be there for, but as of April 2019, you can get in the church. Okay, so this is location number one for me and my shooting. I'm going for the traditional straight down the middle shot, first off the bat, and I'm going to try and line it up perfectly and get that lovely balcony and the arch and all the detail. One thing I do like about this church is that a lot of the windows you see in the frame are actually overgrown when you look through them. So that means it sort of blocks a lot of the light and it makes it look really photogenic. I'm actually photographing it with my tilt shift lens, but you could use a 16-35mm or even a 24mm lens or thereabouts equivalent for a crop sensor camera, and it would work absolutely fine. Okay, my settings here are simple. F8. My camera is in manual mode. I've shot 5 brackets just so I can combine them in post. ISO is 100. Simple as that, and I'm letting the camera choose the shutter speed. I'm just getting 2 brackets overexposed, 1 in the middle and 2 under. Oh, wow, the ceiling looks awesome.
Is there another way? Is there another way? And the nails pound harder in the coffin light. Come and beat again, oh breathe again. Whoa. Rise above the darkness.
So, I know that I shot the traditional kind of straight on, nice and clean, straight shot. However, it is a stunning place and there's plenty of other photographic opportunities. The one that I'm shooting now, I'm going to pop up on the screen. I imagine in location number 1 there is 2, 3 or maybe even 4 shots of really good shots that you could have.
Is there another way? Is there another way?
Okay, so one of the other spots that I really like actually, a little bit further up from the spot that is a very, so as you're walking up the main path, you'll see that very first spot, which is over photographed. Just a little bit further up the footpath, you'll see this little walkway and a wall behind this blue ruin. And here you see the town in sort of a fuller extent. Okay, so this is the scene. I like it because it's an external, you get the whole town in, and it's not your typical viewpoint like it is just down the road there. You've got 2 options. You've got the wide angle, you could go for something like a 16-35, or if you use a 24-70mm lens, you could also get some details. You could go into 50 or 70mm and get some of that detail of the mountain and then sort of the little houses broken up. We did a few of those shots yesterday around the town, but this time I've opted to go for the traditional, so on my camera you could use a 16-35. I've still got my tilt shift on, but that's irrelevant. It's 17mm, so you could use a 16-35, or on a crop sensor or a little mirrorless camera you could use something along the lines of an 18-22, which is the equivalent of a 16-35. That then allows you to get quite a nice little viewpoint because you can get a little bit of the blue ruin on the left, a little bit of blue ruin on the right of the scene, and when you actually frame it, it's almost like frames your photo and frames the town really nicely because you've got the grass at the bottom, you've got the ruins in the background, you've got the mountain at the top. Welcome to location number 3, my third of the day as the rain tips down on us. Hopefully it's a fleeing moment. Last night I shot this location. Obviously it's not ideal to shoot this afternoon as it's getting damp. You'll see there is a tree here in the composition. You'll need something like a 24mm to 70mm on a full frame camera to frame it up so you get the tree. I'm going to include my shots from yesterday on the screen and you should be able to see exactly what it is that I've shot. I also did shoot as well with my 100 to 400mm and really cropping on those buildings. I love how overgrown they are. They look really fantastic. So it's kind of one of those shots that is probably, this is a little bit off the tourist path and people won't come up here. I've put the pin in the description below and you can get yourself straight to it. We're up a little elevated embankment, so do be careful when you come up. Okay, finally, and to wrap things up for shooting, we've got a little spot that we found and discovered yesterday. And it looks to the eye when you first walk in like it's not that photogenic, but actually when you open up the camera, you've got a little bit of foreground with the rubble and rocks that are here. And also, you'll see on the left-hand side behind me here, it's all kind of decayed and it's all green, so you've got that moss feeling. So for an internal shot, this is probably one of the better ones that we've come across. I photographed this yesterday, but I am just going to do it again. One of the reasons why I like the shot is because a lot of these buildings, when they're empty and stripped like this, they don't always have that foreground, something to draw your eye in and through the frame. This particular shot, because of these rocks, like I mentioned a minute ago, you can actually frame it so you can get your camera lower or you can get your camera further back and actually make these a bit of a subject in the foreground of your image. Again, you can shoot this easily with something like a 16-35 or something like a 18-22 on a crop sensor camera. That would be ideal for this. Nice and wide, get the whole shot in. So a simple shot for us to finish on. But it's something that we can play around then with colours, and that'll look really good. So let me just grab my 5 brackets. The rain has obviously started coming down, so the light isn't as harsh for me as it was yesterday. For shooting interiors, this is actually now better than it was yesterday, unless you're shooting in a place where you've got some really cool light features. So for example, it's bursting in through a window, you've got light rays, stuff like that. But when it was just casting here on the left-hand side, it just doesn't look for a particularly pleasing image. You just grab this shot. So join me next Monday when we mix things up a bit and we take a look at the hidden architecture of Tbilisi, Georgia. Feel free to tickle the like button, share this video with a friend, and if you have not done so already, consider subscribing.